So I buy a lot from AliExpress and I always notice little adverts spread across showing off a few random electrical things and cheap items which normally I wouldn't consider buying. And I thought to myself, maybe I'll take one for the team and buy some of this what you class as a bit of tat and then give it a quick review and see what's what. So I decided I didn't want to spend much, so all the items I bought were mostly around about £5 in total, and this bundle that I've got is no more than £30, although you do have to add 20% VAT on when getting delivered to the UK, so it would have worked out a little bit more. And most of this was delivered within 2 weeks of ordering, so not bad delivery from China. So first off I bought this USB-C charger, so it was £1.94 including the VAT. So it seems of decent quality, it feels nice and strong, and one of the main reasons for buying this was because it's got a little digital display on it to show what voltage or wattage that it's charging at. So I'll just plug it into my Aminic and we can see, I think it says 12 or 15 watt. To be honest, it's not the clearest, not as clear as it says on the well, as it shows on the pictures, but at least it's showing a charging symbol like it advertises. So I'll plug it into my phone just to see what it says on the phone. As you can see, it shows it a bit better now. It's in a bit of a darker room, showing the 15 watt charge. So I'll put it onto super fast charge, and then when you plug it in, if it goes to super fast charge, then this does normally change. It's like a turquoise colour, but it's still on green. So I do know that this charger can do super fast charge, so it's not charging super fast, but it's still charging pretty fast, so I'm still happy with it for the price. So not a bad first purchase. So next up we got this bigger bag. So there's a few items in this one, so we'll just get them all out and have a little look now. So first up we'll open this one. Oh, and this is just a couple of cats that have got my daughter, so don't need to review them. So next up we got this torch. So it was advertised as, I think, 100,000 lumens, which I knew was going to be a lie. And then straight away you can see on the box it says 1500 lumens, which is more realistic. It was £3.68, which I don't think is a bad price, so we'll just get it all out. So it's got the torch itself, which is very, very plasticky, but at least it's come charged. I'll have a little look at the box and you can see the features. So as I said there, 1200 lumens. Look at the top, so there's one LED on there with one giant magnifying glass. So I think this is how they're powering it. So this is what class is 1500 lumens. So we just put it back together. And then we're going to take it outside. So we turn it on, and to be fair, the brightness is pretty good. And then to adjust it, you just pull the end out a little bit, and then it goes to a fine beam. And I'd have to say that that's pretty impressive. You can sort of shine up into the sky and then into the trees, etc. So it is really, really good spotlight. So again, straight off, I'm impressed with the torch. It does what I expect it to do. So as you can see, this is how it works. You just pull the end out and then it focuses it into a strong beam. USBC charging. It's really cheap plastic. Comes with a little lanyard as well. But for the price, I really can't complain. And again, I'd say I'm really happy with this purchase as well. Well worth the money. Totally recommend this one. So next up, I've picked myself up a battery tester for £1.52. I have loads of batteries in the house and I don't actually know whether they're charged or not. So the easiest way for me or the kids will be just to put them in this tester. So it is for AA, AAA and the square ones. We possibly might be able to fit some of the chunky ones in, but didn't have any to hand to be able to test. We just line it up, pop it in, and then it gives you a voltage reading. So pretty nice and simple. Again, It looks plasticky, it feels plasticky, it does feel cheap, but for £1.52 I don't know what more I can expect. So it does the job, I'm happy with it. So next up, again, another couple of items in this bag, so we just have a little look through. So I picked myself up a USB SD card adapter. So I didn't really need it, but £1.73 I think it was, which to be fair is probably a little bit more than I probably should have spent on it. It says it's USB 3, but I don't know whether I believe that. I think they might have just stuck a blue end on it. And then you just pop your little SD cards in it, and then just pop it into the computer, and there's not really much more you can say, to be fair. You pop it in, you plug it in, and it reads it with a very bright blue light on it. So it works fine, probably a little bit overpriced, but it does what it's supposed to do. Next up is this LED clock that I picked up. So this was £4.86. There was a lot of different colours to pick from, and decided to pick the black one. So an LED clock with a USB connection on it. So I'll just plug it in, and then you can see that it shows the time. It also scrolls through and show the temperature, and you can also set the alarm on it. So to be honest, in any kind of daylight, it's quite hard to see because of the way it's designed. In a pitch black room, it'll work really good. It was bought for one of the kids to have in the room at night, so at night time it's going to be perfect, which is what it's designed for. It's just not great for the daytime, or if there's any kind of daylight shine on it. I also can't work out how to just leave it on the time. It sort of scrolls through the time and also the temperature, which is a little bit annoying, a little bit distracting. There probably is a way to change it, but I haven't really looked into it properly. And now I've got this, a Sony micro SD card. I've been looking forward to this. £2.95 for 1TB SD card. What could go wrong? So it's nicely packaged, as you can see. Proper Sony. All nicely wrapped up. So we'll just open it all up and then take a look. So we have a little look at the SD card. So I don't really know what you can tell. I mean, the front of it, to be fair, it does look a little bit fake. It feels like it's been painted on or something, not like a professionally embossed on it. And then the SD card adapter, it feels really loose. It doesn't feel like it's actually engaging. So I'll just put the SD card into my computer to see. So I'll plug it in with the adapter, and it doesn't actually show up. It just shows up like that. So because I'm not going to use the adapter, I've got millions, I'm not too bothered, so I'll just decide to crack it open just to have a little look. And then when I open it up, you can see that all the internals are there, so it should work fine. Unfortunately, it just wasn't tight enough to engage the SD card. So take the SD card out and just pop it in normal without the adapter, and then it shows up, and there we're showing a terabyte SD card. So I'll be honest, I'm not really an expert on testing SD cards. It's not something that I normally do. It's not something that I normally engage in buying fake ones. So I just had a little bit of a Google and tried to find a couple of testers that were recommended. So there's two different ones. So there's this one that I use first. So we'll give it a test. So we'll just click through it. It does its thing. It does a little bit of loading. And then it comes up with this error message saying that it does think it's a fake SD card. So it's what I expected, but I need to really try and delve a little bit more deeper into try and work out what more I can do to see what actual capacity is in it. And then there's this other tester that I came across. So this one reads and writes to the SD card itself. So I was recommended just to test 64 gig, which it did, which it read and wrote to. And then I decided I need to test the whole thing. So I put it on overnight to read and write to the SD card itself. So I thought overnight it would have been done. When I come back to it in the morning, it was only a quarter of the way through. So I thought I haven't got time to leave it to test it. So I ended up having to just cancel it. But when you go onto the SD card and have a look, it says it's actually written 500 gig to it. So I don't know whether this means it's at least 500 gig SD card. Again, like I said, I don't know how to test it any further, but currently I think I've got a minimum of 500 gig SD card, but it obviously needs more testing. I wouldn't trust it with anything too important at the moment. So next up, I've got this big box, and this is a air fan cooler thing, which cost £4.22. So it looked good on the pictures, thought I'd give it a go. Wasn't entirely sure what it was, but what the hell. So we get it out, and as you can see, it's not a bad size. It's got a fan on the bottom and then a container on the top. Comes with a USB to power it, and then there's different fan settings that it can do. So it wasn't actually aware until I read the instructions that you were supposed to add water to the top of it, which I'm doing now. And then we just put the lid on just to make sure that it doesn't spill out. And now I've gone into handheld mode just to move it, and as you can see, you press this button and then it releases some cool air from the water. You press it again, it goes up to 3, and then you press it again and it goes up to 5. So I was pretty impressed, to be honest. This wasn't what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. So the fan is blowing nice cool water at you. So I'm assuming this is going to be really good when the months kick in. Got a little bit of a light on it as well in the background if you wanted to, so it'll be nice at night. So I don't know how practical it will be when you're using it at bedtime. I mean, if it's next to you on a cabinet, don't think it's going to be strong enough to really be powering its way over a foot or two to get onto your head. But until I actually use it in the hot weather, I won't know how good it's going to be. But I'm definitely going to use it in the summer. I'll probably throw some ice water in the top of it, and I definitely expect it to be a decent thing to try, and hopefully it might cool me down on them hot nights. So again, for the price, it was worth the gamble, and I look forward to seeing what it does. So next up, I've got this UV light. So it cost me £3. So this was purely bought because when I'm doing repairs, I sometimes use some solder mask which needs a UV light to cure it. The UV lights that it comes with are always pretty poor, so I thought to go for a slightly better one, which this one seems. So it's a really good quality, it feels really nice, the metal finish. It's a very bright UV light on it. I don't currently have anything to cure with my solder mask, so I can't really demo it very well, but at the moment, first impressions, it's okay. With a USB charger as well, old USB connector, but it works fine, it feels fine. For the price, again, I think it was worth it. Another one with a big LED on the top with a nice big magnifying glass to amplify it a little bit. Next up is this pillow. So it's currently gone up in price once I screenshotted it, but when I bought it, it was £3.82. So it's supposed to be some kind of a neck support, and going from the pictures, it's a nice big thick pillow which is supposed to really add a lot of support to you. So I got it out. I was hoping it was going to expand once I left it, but believe me, it's been left a couple of days now and it doesn't get any thicker than this. So this is the thickness, about 3 inches. So I was probably expecting at least twice the thickness, probably more. It was pretty poor. have a look on the zip on the side. What's inside, as you can see, it's just rubbish basically. Just what you'd expect to find in a cheap teddy. So I was expecting something better, not this, and this is not recommended. Total waste of money on this neck support pillow. So next up we'll open this box and we've got this sand thing, which was £5.14. So you basically just turn it over and the sand drops down. A relaxing thing. This is the kind of tat that you pick up when you're on holiday in little tourist attraction places, and they try and charge you £15-20 for a load of rubbish. So there the sand's all settled, so I'm just going to flip it over and then all the sand drops down. And that's pretty much it. So it's a relaxation thing, so to some people they were like, what's the point? To other people they'll quite like it. I don't mind it myself. I'll stick it next to the bed and I'll probably give it to one of the kids so they can have a little mess with it. So that's the conclusion of my AliExpress haul. Hopefully I've enlightened you on a few of the things that I've bought, and hopefully you'll agree that it wasn't all rubbish. Some of it was quite good. If you have any comments on or tips on ways I can do further tests on what I've purchased, then please let me know. So thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe.